So I think that's the most emotional quote visit I've ever had to do. Well, that was interesting. Today I've been doing 3 site visits. Sounds simple, I know, but there's something different about the way we want to do these jobs because we want you to help us out with them. So like, subscribe, and please share this video out with somebody else who you think might be able to help. So we're here at the first site in Milton, and the customer wants 4 charging points along this wall here. There's a distribution board just inside, so it's not too complicated, this one, hopefully, but I'll talk you through it and what I'm thinking about how we might do it. So one on the end there, one on here, one on here, and then one on this very end for this vehicle. So here's our distribution board. There are other electricians working here at the moment, which is why the cover is off, but it's quite handy because we can see what's going on inside. We've got plenty of spare ways in here. It's a 3-phase board. You can see it's got like a 30, I think probably 35mm 5-core supply cable coming in. So what we've got to do is have a look at the other end and just see what size breaker this supply cable is on at the main panel board. And then the cable route from here would be basically up onto that existing cable tray. I'd go along, I'd pop through the wall there, and then I'd run everything in cable tray on the other side. So not too difficult an install, it's doable. So I'm going to show you guys now the main panel board, and we'll see what size breaker is feeding that. Oh, smells like Cornish pasties. Welcome to the plant room. So this is the main incomer room, basically, where all the power comes into the building. Here we go. So DBK is 12, L1, L2, L3. It's actually the kitchen supply, and it's 160 amp supply. But it's absolutely essential that we know that we've got enough supply capacity and what that is. I'm going to get my clamp meter on over there and just see what current is drawing at the moment. They're obviously cooking at the moment because we can smell the pasties, so that's a good opportunity to get this on there and just see what kind of current they're drawing. 8 amps on L2, so that's not too bad. 8.8 on L3 as well, so again not bad at all. A bit more on L1, 18 amps on L1. At the moment there's not too much stuff running, but there are a lot of things on those circuits, like a bain-marie, cooker, a couple of other distribution boards. There is potentially quite a lot of stuff running off here. So I think what I might recommend to the customer is just to get a proper load survey done to make sure that we can get the maximum amount of capacity run out for the electric vehicle charging points without actually overloading the main circuits. So we're here in the reception, and Jim, the facilities manager, who's asked us to come in and look at these jobs, has kindly offered to show us around and just see what they do here. Some amazing work happening, so it's nice to have a little tour, so we'll show you guys around as well.
This is the country park here.
Oh yeah, nature.
And Spider-Man, of course, because Spider-Man's in no.
Spider-Man on a boat in the lake.
On a bubble, yeah. I'll show you our hydropool, so we're quite proud of this, I think. We can transport children around who have a lot of movement difficulties.
Yeah.
So we've got the hoists everywhere. There we go.
Oh wow.
Quite pretty, isn't it?
Very nice, yeah. So do the children just kind of come and have a splash about in here and have a little bit of a swim and stuff?
Yes, yeah, the hydrotherapy team will be in there with them.
Yeah.
Often we have a lot of children with a lot of mobility problems, but obviously the water gives them that extra little bit of freedom.
Yeah.
You know, it will support you and lift you up a bit. So we'll have maybe three members of the team all there with the child,
yeah,
looking after them all the time.
Wow.
But
it's so nice to be able to give them that ability to actually have a bit of a swim, which maybe they've never been able to do like just with their families because it's too complicated.
That's right, and this is a lot of what we do here. It's about sensory experience, okay, and the children being able to interact with the world in ways they couldn't do without all this equipment that we have. When the service users are in, we often will put their parents in some of these bedrooms up here. Okay. So they're like little hotel rooms.
Oh, that's nice. Do some of them come from quite a long way away then?
Well, usually just around East Anglia.
Okay.
But they want to be close to their children while they're in here.
Yeah. Do they just come for like a few days to get like some care, or is it generally like end of life sort of here?
It's both. I think we have more respite care.
Okay, so just to give the family a little bit of a break and take the pressure off them.
That's right, yeah, and to be able to provide those extra services and those extra sensory experiences that they can't get at home. What we do involves counselling a lot as well.
Yeah.
Not just when a child dies, but often for years and years afterwards.
For the parents.
We'll talk to the parents and
so
help
nice.
to support them, because it's about as big an event as can happen to any family.
Yeah.
And without that support, the family could struggle.
Those little fibre optic lights.
That's right.
Wow. So is this like just sort of a relaxation space or something?
Yes, and again, it's different things to appeal to the child's senses.
Yeah.
There's a video display there, and there's a game console in there, and that can display up against that wall there. This padding can all be rearranged so that we can lay the child down on the padding, and they can move about as best they can without hurting themselves.
Like the most complicated socket ever. It looks like you've got audio jacks and a switch, so you can set a time for them and stuff. Can you? So is this like a swing for a wheelchair?
It is, yeah. You can.
Wow.
You have straps that you clip into here, much as you would do on an adapted bus.
Yeah.
You clip the straps in there, and then the wheelchair is held tight.
That's amazing. It's such an awesome feeling for a kid to go, a kid who's been in a wheelchair to go on a swing for the first time. That's like amazing.
There's so much you can't do, isn't there?
Yeah.
And then it's nice when there's equipment like this that just adapts it so you can.
Yeah. So I think that's the most emotional quote visit I've ever had to do, and it's particularly affected me because in my family somebody has been through something like this. They had a child who only lived for a few years. She had a heart problem and she died after like 3 years, and this was a long time ago, and they didn't have stuff like this back then. It was like 40 years ago, and they didn't have care like each are offering to people. They had to go through it all on their own. They had to do everything by themselves, even just like travelling hundreds of miles to get to a specialist hospital to deal with heart operations that she had to have and stuff like that on their own. No care, no support, no communication, and no help afterwards to deal with it. The counselling and the care and the experiences and the respite that this place is offering is just amazing, and it just makes me wish that my family had something like this when they went through it all that time ago. But I just want to help these guys. I don't feel like I can just charge them for this job. Like what they're doing is so amazing, and what we have with our following, I just feel like we should be able to do something to really help these guys, and support them by doing this job for free. That's what I want to do, but I just got to figure out how. So if you guys can help in any way, let me know in the comments what you could do. Can you offer some free labour? Can you help with the materials? Maybe we can get an EV charging manufacturer to sponsor this job, and to provide all the gear. Maybe we can get a team of electricians, like DIY SOS style, all volunteering. We can just rally up the troops and come here and help. I really love to be able to do something like that, and I think with our following we should be able to. So we need your help, guys. If you can just get in touch, drop us an email. I will set up a dedicated email address. That's what I'm going to do. So I'll set up a dedicated email address, EACH, that's each, at artisanelectrics.co.uk. If you can offer any help, whether it be free labour, money, support in any way to help fund this project, then I think together we can do it for them, and we can do it free of charge and support the amazing work that they're doing here. We've got 2 more sites to visit now, and I don't know how easy or complicated the installs are going to be. So we're going to have to see. If it's a massive project, maybe I'm biting off more than I can chew, but I just really want to help. And I think if you guys can help too, we can do it together. Let me know. So we're on our way over now to the next site in Norwich, and it's about an hour and 20 minutes drive. Absolutely hammering it down with rain. So yeah, not the most beautiful day to be driving around the East Anglian countryside. I have no idea what to expect at this next site. The only thing I know is that it's only a 2-year-old building, so it's quite a new site, so I don't know whether it's going to be easy and there'll be plenty of spare ways and stuff, or it's going to be a complete nightmare. We'll just see when we get there. There's the load shedding contactor. Have you got a generator here?
Yeah.
So that's probably for when the generator kicks in, that'll cut off any unnecessary loads. Very annoying noise though, isn't it? All the earth cables all labelled up. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, that's really nice. So we've got a 250 amp supply, and then a lot of nice MCCBs. So I guess it's going to be the same setup as last time really, is where's the nearest distribution board to where the charging points are going to go. So it's like 63mm duct.
Oh, I see.
Looks like looping in and out basically between where each pedestal would be. So that's
perfect.
That's kind of great. We would still need probably to put an EV block down to actually mount each pedestal on securely, but at least we can get the cables in between them. So this is very exciting to see a nice new plant room like this that seems to be been done to quite a high standard. What I'm going to do is check these distribution boards here, see whether we've got spare ways in here, and it does look like we do. So we've got 1, 2, 3 spare 3-phase ways. It's on a 200 amp main switch. There's another distribution board here. Okay, and this one has just a 125 amp main switch, so it's probably got a slightly smaller supply going to it. But again, we do have some spare ways here, so that's good to see. And it's really nice to see that they've put surge protection everywhere. They've got a 3-phase surge protection device to protect this board. They've got one over there to protect that board. So we're trying to get the cover open to this duct. I think the ducts go through here, and this would be like a pull box, which would be quite important for us to get the cables out. So we've got like half of the maintenance team here trying to get this up, because it's not been lifted since the building was built 2 years ago, I think.
The idea looks brilliant, yes.
Yeah, a bit of leverage. Oh, it's going. It's just that corner there, isn't it? So close. Okay, let's try his leverage method. Yeah. There we go. Right, you got it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right, yeah.
It's a bit full of water. Oh my goodness, it's like a swimming pool down there. But that is what we were looking for, so
isn't it? Yeah.
That's good news. Yeah.
Okay,
they're all waterproof. So if I pull one on that end, we should see the rope going into this small pipe here move.
Oh, something moved there, yeah.
Is it moving?
Yeah.
Ah, fantastic. We love it when people future-proof installations like we usually try and do. This rope goes over to that manhole cover that we just looked at. We've tugged it and it moves the rope. So that means we've got a route from here basically straight into that mains room. So we can run all of our cables through to this point and then loop in and out between the charging points from here. So that's really good. It's going to save a lot of digging up car parks and all that faffing around. So really good that they thought about that in advance. And that is a bit of advice I'd give you if you are doing a new build property, whether it be a house or a business. Definitely worth digging in some duct or running in a cable for an electric vehicle charging point in advance, because you'll just save yourself such a headache later on. If you have to do it later, it can be a bit of a nightmare. So at this end, this is the rope that goes into that manhole cover with a nice big duct. What we got to figure out now is how to get a cable from there over to our distribution board here. And I think the easiest thing to do will be to use this cable tray. So it looks like we can hop off of that duct, run up in this cable tray into this trunking here, and then we can run the cables round in this massive trunking and then drop down into this distribution board and run everything off there. Just have a little look to see what it looks like inside there. Wowzers, look at all those cables. So you can see all the lighting cables coming here. Again, you know, they've done it nice and neatly. They've labelled everything, they've put tape around the edges. It is a really nice, neat install. They've run everything down here and then they've dropped it into the distribution board. This looks pretty much empty. We can go down in here along the bottom and then into the bottom and through. Oh, I mean, look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. Whoever's done that really, really takes pride in their work. That is fantastic. Shall I take a picture of it and pretend that it's mine on Instagram? That's how good it is. Very nice. Nice to be able to stand back and admire somebody else's work. So I think what we can do is run along in that trunking, drop down with our armoured cables, or the internal part of our armoured cables, and then, you know, that's going to be the challenge actually, is how do we add to this and keep it looking as beautiful as they've made it so far. I think really if we go through the bottom, we're just going to be making it look worse. So we'll just track down and follow these cables, similar to how they've done it. I do like that. They've put some all-round band. They've screwed it back into the back there, and then they've used that to tie their cable ties. I'm going to take a little picture of that because I think that's a really good tip. Oh, my back. I feel like the cameraman's back. Right, so that board is fed from this one. It's a 100 amp limit, which is not huge. A charging point with some kind of active load management is going to be important, just to make sure that, again, we don't overload that board. We could do 5-7 kilowatt charging points, but I always prefer to sort of future-proof things by doing 22 kilowatt. That means that you can always loop off and add a few more afterwards. So that's probably what we'll do. So you've got to catch the apples or something. Oh, you kind of move him across or something. Oh. Time's up. I've lost.
You've lost.
Terrible. I was never very good at those kind of things. I mean, if I enjoy it, then how could a child not enjoy it? An even smaller child than myself. That is so cool. So done at this site. It's an amazing place, and it'd be so nice if we can get a load of electric vehicle charging points in for them. Now we're going to Ipswich to the treehouse. So we'll see you on the road. So I really think we can help these guys. I'm pretty fired up about doing a project. I think that we could gather a fantastic crew of electricians, like DIY SOS style, all volunteers, everyone's doing it for the love. The thing is, I can only do this because of YouTube, and this is one of the amazing things now about having this platform. And I've been wanting to do something for a while where we can use what we've created to really help somebody who's in need, or some people who are in need, and I feel like this is the opportunity, you know? So if you are able to help in any way, we'll leave information below. So after you've watched to the end of this video, there'll be a call to action at the end, and then head to the link in the description below. You'll find out all the information there about how you can get involved, and together with this amazing platform that we've built, we can do something really good. Here we are, site number 3, the treehouse. We knew that this one wasn't going to be easy. It was just, you know, the other two were far too straightforward for this one to be easy. So we've got a board here, 100 amp supply it looks like. We do have two 3-phase ways spare and one single here, two singles there. That's good. However, getting the cables from here to the charging point looks like it's going to be a bit of a challenge. So let's have a look at that. So here is our main panel board. We've got a 250 amp main MCCB here. Then DB1 that I showed you a minute ago, that is fed from this 80 amp MCCB. So it's not a huge supply for that. We've got other things as well, various boards throughout the property. We do have some spare MCCBs here, so you could potentially put a new one in and then run a new board off of that. But I think our best option really is going to be to run a couple of 3-phase circuits from that smaller 80 amp board there and just put a load limit on them. However, the charging points are going across from here to there where the van is. We've got 4 charging points to install along there on pedestals. The shed is going to go, and we're going to need some serious digging to happen on this to get this up in order to run the cables across and put a duct in. So that is going to be the fun part. There we go. So distribution board is up there, and then above there is the ceiling, which we've got plenty of space. We can run our cables along the joist here, through and out to the soffit out there, to the outside. Oop. There goes your lens, Max. It's not going to be too bad. It's more from a groundworks kind of point of view that it's going to be tricky. We're going to need a big old trench dug all the way across that car park, and then somebody's going to need to neatly lay it all back down as if nothing was ever there. So we're going to need some help with that from you guys for sure. If any of you are artisan landscapers and want to volunteer to help us with that, definitely drop us a message. Now, something interesting to note about all of these sites is that they've all got earth electrodes, so actually they're on a TT earthing system, or at least as a backup they've got a TT earth, which means that we don't have to worry about pen fault protection because they've got an earth rod. So that is good, at least. Hopefully that means we can avoid putting in like MATI devices and pen fault protection devices, which adds more expense and more labour and having to find somewhere to fit them. So it's always good to look out for these.
So I'm Trish. I'm the clinical educator here at Eat. This is our dining area. We tend to eat with them like it's like a family. So we'll eat with them and have lunch together or dinner together. So yeah, that's the lounge, and then we'll go down this way. Currently there's someone in the garden room, but we use the garden room for, it's a multi-purpose room, but mostly we use it for, if we have end of life, we'll do memory making, and that will be done in there. All our equipment is in there, so that's where we do that.
Wow.
It's quite difficult for families. Sometimes we've got funeral directors coming in to talk to families about, you know, the next steps, and so it's a nice sort of quiet space, you know, for them to be able to sit in there and do that. So.
Yeah, wow.
And we do a lot of the memory making that we do with families and children. We try and get the families involved when the children are alive, but sometimes we have to do it afterwards. We do things like casts, if possible, make lots of cars with embossing of their hands and their feet. We take locks of their hair for parents to keep. And then we've got these boxes which are called 4-Louis boxes, which have all little things in their little containers for locks and a candle and just all different little teddies, so that they have teddies in there. What they do is they have one teddy with the child and one teddy with the parent, and then when the child has passed, then they swap teddies and the parent keeps the child's one and the child goes with the parent's one. We've got about 112 lead children currently on our books here, just at the treehouse.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, and that's not sort of including like siblings and families that we counsel, and we go out into the community and we provide community care. We provide end of life in the home. We provide end of life here. So, and then our kind of general day-to-day stuff is the respite care. So respite for families with children with complex needs. So that's what we do most of the time.
It's amazing, and they surely need it.
Yeah. This one we tend to use a lot for our end of life, just because it's got access to the parent and the sibling room. Yeah. And also you can keep the whole family in one sort of corridor, so if there's any care going up, it doesn't interfere with them. It's less clinical, it's more like home, but they're not in their own homes unless they want to be.
And it gives them time to just process it, and then they can...
Time to make those decisions, and time to say goodbye.
Tough. Oh my goodness, just can't. It's like hard to like process what that would feel like, you know, isn't it? It's just, I don't know how you guys do it. It's just...
To be able to be there and support a family through like the worst time of their life is such an incredible privilege.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It is.
Yeah, well, I think what you do is really amazing. It's like, those people must so appreciate what you do for them. It's incredible. What an amazing work these guys are doing. We want to help them. So this is our call to action. If you think that you can help in any way, whether it is offering us some free labour to come and do this job, whether it's offering some materials or helping by supporting the GoFundMe page, that there'll be a link below where you can support with your voluntary donations. Any way that you can help, we would really appreciate it. If we can get the East Anglia Children's Hospices running electric vehicles, charging them up on site, it's going to save them so much money over time compared to paying all the fuel that they need to pay for all of their vehicles at the moment. So we really hope that you guys can help us to get this project over the line. We can't do it without you. We need your support. So please like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and if you can do nothing else, just share it out with somebody else who might be able to help. But either way, we really appreciate you watching. Thanks, and we'll see you soon. Ooh. Oh no. I just turned the tap on and just got water all over my leg.